As you look over the syllabus and get familiar with the course, I want to go ahead and highlight a few things for you. First of all, technology. As you know, this is a distance learning course, so we rely completely on the internet. It is up to you to have a stable and reliable internet connection available to you, as well as to have the basic skills you need to get whatever your device you're using, your laptop, your computer, online. Unfortunately, your instructors cannot help you troubleshoot issues with your computer, issues with connectivity, or general issues with technology. Okay, that is where we're relying on you to be self-sufficient in that regard. There are some resources for you hosted by the university that you can reach out to if you are having issues with technology. And those resources are listed below in this syllabus. All right, second, let's talk about the live chat requirements. You're required to meet with your group for a live chat lasting anywhere from, I would say, 20 to 30 minutes. And this is going to happen 5 times over the course, starting in week 2. The live chat is going to be hosted over Carmen Connect. So again, it's going to be your responsibility to make sure that you are set up for that live chat in terms of technology. There is no substitution for this live chat assignment, okay? So this is required, and it's going to be up to your group to work together to come up with a time that your entire group can meet. So you're going to have to, again, be available and be flexible in terms of making this assignment work for your group. Even though this is distance learning, your presence in the course is required, and that presence happens online. Okay, so something to keep in mind. If you're not going to be able to, again, meet the technology requirement or the live chat requirement, you probably want to reconsider whether this course is going to be right for you this summer. Okay, the next thing to talk about is the schedule. So you have an outline for the course schedule on the syllabus. This is just a general outline. Be aware that each week you will have a detailed kind of calendar and schedule of what's due for the week, and that will be on Carmen. You'll find that in the content section as we make our way through the course, right, week by week. It's very important to note that work is due in this course on a weekly basis. So there is a schedule to maintain, a schedule to keep up with. That being said, the due dates for assignments are the due dates for assignments. There is no substitution there. There are no extensions, right? The quiz closes when the quiz closes. And again, since it's all online, you know this in advance. Okay, you know what the schedule is going to be. So regardless if you're in town or out of town or traveling, lucky you, this summer, you are responsible for the course deadlines and all assignments when they're due. So the next thing to talk about is the requirement that you see 2 live theater productions. Now for those in and around the Columbus area, I am going to highly recommend, and you can take that as require, that you see Richard III, which is down in Schiller Park in German Village. This is just a great opportunity to read a text, because we'll all be reading Richard III, and then to see a production of that same play. So please make arrangements to see Richard III. For your second required production, this is going to be up to you. And you're going to have to do a little research when it comes to, well, what do you want to see? What are you interested in? So I do need you to do a little research. So wherever you happen to be this summer, whether it is in the States or abroad, there is theater going on around you. We'll talk a little bit more about how to figure out what is playing, and I'm going to need you to do that legwork. Then you can kind of touch base with your group instructor and get kind of the okay that what you plan to see will fulfill this requirement. Okay, just a couple more things. A quick note on the text for this course. There are 5 required play readings, and it is your responsibility, of course, to get a hold of the text for this class. A quick note on the Bacchae and Richard III. There are a lot of versions of that play out there. You do not have to read the Paul Woodruff translation. If you have a translation, you have maybe the Bacchae in a collection or an anthology of some kind of Greek plays, go ahead and feel free to use that edition. Same with Richard. There are a lot of course, editions of Shakespeare out there. You do not have to purchase the one I brought in to the bookstore, which is the Dover edition, and I chose that primarily because it's inexpensive. So whatever you have in terms of the Bacchae and Richard III is going to be fine for this course. And do note that Richard III is all Shakespeare texts are available online. I did provide a link to a text online for Richard. Just note that there's no annotation in that text, and sometimes annotation is really helpful when reading Shakespeare. The other text, Trouble in Mind, I will provide that for you on Carmen. It will be a PDF file. The two last ones, the Laramie Project and Mr. Burns, you're responsible for getting copies of those. Okay, so just plan for that, right? Plan for that. You're going to have to purchase those. And especially Mr. Burns is a new play. It is not as readily available as the Laramie Project. So please do some work. How are you going to get those plays? Both plays come in single editions, which I have brought into the bookstore, as well as anthologies, which is a collection of plays. You might not be able to purchase the single edition anymore. For instance, the Laramie Project doesn't print a single edition of the play anymore. It comes in an anthology with the Laramie Project and the second play, the Laramie Project 10 years later. We are not reading the Laramie Project 10 years later. We are only reading the Laramie Project. I know that's a bit confusing, but you might have to purchase the anthology to get a hold of the Laramie Project, the single play that we're reading. Okay. So the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is a little bit about how this course is structured. I am the lecturer for the course. However, I am not teaching this course alone. I am working with a fabulous group of instructors from the Department of Theater, and there are 5 others joining me this summer. We have Francesca and Melanie. We have 2 Elizabeths this summer. We have Elizabeth Wellman and Elizabeth Herlick, and Jeff is joining us. So the course is 180 students. So what we've done is we've divided you guys into smaller groups of 15. So please know your group number. That's going to be obvious when you sign into Carmen, okay? So according to your group number, you will be working with a specific group instructor. Each instructor is responsible for 2 groups. So I will have 2 groups, Francesca has 2 groups, Jeff has 2 groups, etc. So what we'd like you to do from this point forward is if you do have a question about the course or about the syllabus or about a specific assignment and you can't find the answer on Carmen or in the syllabus, please direct your question to your group instructor. Okay, go ahead and an email, allow us 24 hours to respond to your email. And most importantly, whenever you communicate over email with your group instructor, please always include your group number, right? Always include that information for your recitation, for your group instructor. That's all for now, and I will be seeing you online.